Have you ever woke up in the middle of a dream and the dream was so interesting that you wanted to go back to sleep to see the end of it? If so, what was the dream? I was stranded on an island. The dream felt like it lasted several days, so I wanted to go back to sleep and see if I survive or not. I actually did see the dream again. I survived and escaped on boat and I found a giant cargo ship. I remember me screaming "Hey, boat," over and over, and then it cuts off to me just walking around on the boat. Pretty odd, but it was very interesting. Had a dream about a book series that I am 99.9% sure doesn't exist. Been researching a lot, so I am planning on writing it. Was watching a football game on the yard outside of my childhood home. One team featured Frazier Crane as the star player. The other team's star was Jesus Christ, wearing a white gown and sandals. Jesus was unstoppable. He ran a sweep to the right on every play, and once he hit the corner, he was gone. A touchdown on every play. Frazier Crane would throw a touchdown pass to a cousin of mine on every play. The dream ended before the game was over, so I would have liked to continue watching to see if anyone ever could tackle Jesus or sack Mr. Crane. Yes, I dreamt I had a hot girlfriend. I was cuddling her in the bathroom, bizarrely, and was about to say "I love you" when I woke up. It felt so real. I couldn't get back to the dream though. I had a dream where I was a criminal being executed. In the beginning of the execution, the platform fell forward and the people executing me died and I was still alive. The one that I still think of sometimes is that I was sitting around with my wife and a couple of friends playing cards and I hear a couple of plops on the table. I look down and two of my fingertips are there, left index and left ring. No blood, no pain. My hand looks like the nubs people have years after losing a finger in an accident. The detached fingertips still look healthy and the formerly attached ends appear the same as my nubs, healed, sealed over with skin. I mention my calamity and say I need to go to the hospital, and my friend thinks I'm overreacting since there's zero blood and zero pain. My wife reluctantly takes me in. The dream cuts to the hospital where I have a couple of doctors just kinda shrugging and going, "Well, if there's no pain, we don't see a problem." And that is when I woke up. Any dream about falling in love? I once had a dream about reconnecting with my first love, and it was going great. But then I had the thought that what if it was all a dream? Then I woke up, all distraught. I felt awful. But then there she was, and we were back together. It was so uplifting, until I actually woke up. Duck, what a way to play with your own emotions. I was in the living playing a cello in front of my family. I was playing the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, but it sounded like a full-blown orchestra. And as I got to the end, I woke up from a smiling me playing the cello and am now sad. It sounded so good too. In the dream, my girl and I are doing something routine and average. Perhaps shopping, or driving in our car, or cooking. It's always something mundane. But just knowing she is there with me fills me with overwhelming love and joy. I always reach out to tell her that I'm in love with her, that this small moment, even though insignificant, is amazing to me because she is there, and because we are together and happy. I go to say these words to her, but every single time, all that comes out of my mouth is "I'm sorry." Just then she'll turn to look at me and that's when I always wake up, startled, words choking in my throat, heartbroken. The rest of the day will be a great blur, slow as it's happening, but a blur when I think back on it. I go through the ritual of daily life, smiling when I'm supposed to smile lest someone asks me if something wrong. A decade of enduring that so far. She's gone forever and I'll be cursed with that dream till I die, I think. I do it all the time. Last night I dreamed I was on a luxurious cruise ship with my husband and friends. We were just hanging out in different bars on the ship and going out to the deck to watch as the ship arrived at a tropical port. It was great, but I woke up before I knew where we were. I think that was the point of the dream. I'm happy, secure, but have no idea where the ship is going. The ship representing life or the world, I guess. I have 2 reoccurring dreams, probably half a dozen times each, and every time I wake up mid-story, if you can call it that. In one, I have all the powers of Spider-Man, and I literally have to fight armies of demons and orcs emerging from a crack in the earth. These dreams are always amazing. Very cinematic MCU style combat in urban environments against Hellspawn. And alongside like SWAT guys and stuff. And they always feel so real. In the other one, Abraham Lincoln shows up and is flying around like Superman. Once or twice I've gotten to ride on his back while he flies. That's it. That's the dream. I never know WTF it's supposed to be about. Me and Lego Gandalf fight ghosts with axes. I was a detective in the 1960s, chasing a man who killed women while they were home alone, including my wife. On the night I stayed back at the cop shop working on his case, I found the warehouse he was living in. It was definitely him. He taped all his trophies, the hair of his victims, to the back wall. My wife's ponytail, her bright red hair, was taped to the dirty concrete wall. I raised my gun at him, telling him it was over. He smiled at me, a horrible smile with rotting teeth. It is over. I'm going to wake you up, and when you wake up, you'll disappear, and I'll kill again. Perhaps I'll pay your daughter a visit. I tried to ask him what he meant, but then I woke up in my bedroom. I've only had like 4-6 dreams, so I wish I could have returned to any of those. I have lots of dreams that involve my grandfather who raised me. It used to upset me a bit because I could never go back to the dream or control when they occurred, but eventually I learned to appreciate them. He walked on from life over 20 years ago, but it's really nice to see him every now and then, even if it's only in my dreams. I had one a while back that I was in a train station talking to MF Doom. We talked for a bit before a train pulled up. He got up and said, "This is my ride." We fist bumped and then he said, "Just remember everything is bullet." My alarm went off right as he walked through the door. Right. So I have the ability to involuntarily lucid dream. For me, lucid dreaming is brought on by having a nightmare, as though everything is too outlandish for me and I realize I'm actually dreaming that the dead are killing and eating my friends and neighbors. I then promptly fly off. Problem is, I usually wake up shortly thereafter. Sucks. I had a dream that I woke up middle in the sea in a warship and thought my real life was dream. Then I learned that we won a war in my country and going back to home, I met a Gurk soldier in the ship. We got along so well. When we got to home, weirdly it was Norway and it was 1890s. I am from Turkey, but the thing is my dream country is Norway. So I got so happy when I got to Norway. I met more people in warship that some of them became my best friends. Now I don't want to explain the whole story after this, but basically I married the girl I met, had children, had best friends, and lived a happy life. Got in some more war, but I managed to survive all, and then I woke up and was back in this whole life. I have a recurring dream about a skyscraper with a self-contained city inside of it, and the whole thing is riddled with hidden passageways. Total of 4 times in the past few years. I can't wait to go back and keep exploring. Have you ever woke up in the middle of a dream and the dream was so interesting that you wanted to go back to sleep to see the end of it? OMG, finally an AskReddit I can answer. This is so relatable. If so, what was the dream? Duck. This is a long one. I used to dream about nuclear war and the aftermath a lot. In one dream, the bombs had fallen and vehicles were gone BC of no gas anymore. So I was walking in MPLS. All the buildings were boarded up and there were people everywhere. At the head of an alley, there was a fence and people were gathered to watch an entertainer. I stood there and a guy with a long beard and wearing a robe came out from behind the fence and started dancing. It was more like Take-Eye, but I noticed that when he moved his arms or legs, there was a barely visible blue flame trailing behind. It was beautiful and he wasn't being hurt by it. Then I looked down and there was a basket of puppies, but they were on fire with the same blue flames and they were being harmed by it, but slowly and with no sound. I looked around and no one else seemed to notice it. I tried to put it out and couldn't and had to watch them all die. Then the dancer went back behind the fence into the alley. Then I knew something. Like in dreams when you don't hear a voice but just know it. Dream knowledge or whatever. The guy was Jesus, and since he couldn't suffer and die again, everyone would have to suffer smaller things and all that suffering would make up for our sins and to redeem us. Watching puppies burn to death was my suffering. I woke up wanting to go in the alley and say WTF. I once had an incredibly vivid dream that I was on a bus and a few rows in front of me sat my, several years before deceased, grandpa. I was looking at him and hoping that it was really him when he turned to look at me and winked, something he always did, and in the way that was particular to him. I stood up to go and sit closer to him and we were just about to start talking when I woke up. I tried so desperately to go back to sleep and have that conversation with him, but it never happened. Now, I don't believe that it was him visiting me, rather my brain creating something that I would really love. But it's a nice thought. I probably had this dream 10 years ago, or maybe more, and I still regularly think about it. I have migraine disorder, so anytime I hit my head, even mildly, it causes a severe migraine with mild hallucinations, I guess. I never have them otherwise. They always turn out interesting. My favorite was when I was about 16 and I literally woke up thinking, Steve, where's Steve? I thought for a good minute I was an Avenger. I was a dinosaur, and there were some other dinosaurs, and we were trying to rescue someone, and this girl from my school had to come pick us up in a helicopter. But we left someone on the ground because there was no room in the helicopter, and I was crying that we left them behind. I was 13. I actually used to be able to do this. As a child, I'd have really bad nightmares and wake up at a pivotal point, just about to be killed or similar. Then I would think of the most ridiculous way out of that scenario and force myself back to sleep and finish out the dream with my solution. I was a weird kid. I nearly checkmated Kasparov in a chess game, just to be woken up by the alarm. I was abducted by aliens and sent to Venus. They told me to find ancient artifacts to prove their existence. I was happy. Oh yeah, I was kissing Daniel Radcliffe, lol, it was amazing. I was boarding a weird ass plane with some family. Some regular stuff happened. Then the pilot, who was an actual idiot, started to fly too close to the ground. I don't remember why. Anyways, obviously, we crashed. Some people died obviously, but I survived. Weirdly, the scene of me falling out looked like it was on the National Geographic Channel. Anyways, I survived, but my legs didn't, so I had to start living in a wheelchair, which wasn't too bad. I did have a hard time getting up this sort of porch thought. As soon as I got up, I woke up. I really want to see what happened next, but I never managed to return to it. I once had a dream that I spent UACUT 300 in Zara and was so panicked when I woke up that I went back to sleep to try and return it all. I had a dream once that I was playing Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess as Wolf Link, but I was the wolf. It was really cool as I found a new area and ended up doing a mini boss fight against Zant. I could do so many different moves then I couldn't in the game and ended up beating Zant only for him to try and run away. I wasn't gonna let him get away, but I woke up and never got to know what happened next. I ended up beating the game itself a couple days after the dream though. Still my favorite Zelda game though. I woke up halfway through an Agatha Christie style murder mystery. I still don't know if the identity of the killer is locked in my subconscious somewhere or if I pulled a Lost on myself and generated mystery without knowing how to wrap it up. Being with my dad who died recently, just riding around the farm talking about life. This question makes me regret having never written down any of my dreams. Could have been a Reddit karma treasure trove. TT. Maybe I could even have sold them to Hollywood. Dreams where I can fly and that involve sex. What do you suppose that means or says about me? Thanks. I was a traveling salesman going door to door, having no real success until I knock upon the door of a comely red-headed woman in a very tight workout outfit. Things start looking up when she invites me in. Things are really looking up when next thing I know, we are rolling around on the floor making out, half naked. Then all of a sudden I hear the door open. Someone step in and shout, "Wendy, what are you doing?" I look up, it was ducking Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's. I then woke up and starting laughing out loud. I don't remember my dreams. Damn it. I experience this every morning. Every night I go on often exciting but also exhausting adventures, and when I wake up I need some time to process. I have often wondered if this is why I never feel rested. I had a dog from elementary school that passed my senior year of high school. For several years I had dreams where he was with me again and I'd wake up and just sob. Some were really sad, like he would be stuck somewhere and I couldn't get to him. Others would be really peaceful, like he was just sitting with me or playing. I know it sounds stupid to say about a dog, but I miss that damn dog. He was with me through some really tough times. So, my dreams started with me walking down the street in the pouring rain at night. I see a book on the ground and I pick it up. The book had a cat and a mouse on the cover. The dream then cut to me with the cat and mouse. They spoke to me like we were friends. We were still on the sidewalk when a zombie approached. We ran to a small shed, grabbed some guns and turned to face the oncoming zombies. Then I woke up. No, I did not make this up. This was an actual dream I had. I was escaping, Bone Supremacy style, from a factory. I was driving a truck, lorry, while Matt Damon tried to sew my little finger back on. No, but I had the opposite experience last night. I kept having the same lucid dream over and over. A dream where you're aware that you're dreaming and can control it somewhat. For whatever reason, the dream version of me was scared to have a lucid dream, so he'd intentionally wake up as soon as he realized it was a dream. It was very frustrating, because the awake version of me just wanted to get some sleep. Needless to say, that episode ducked up my already bad sleep cycle. Making rattlesnake cookies, rattlesnake meat, sugar and lots of peanut butter, in case you were wondering, but never got to bake and eat them. Might have been interesting. Have you ever done this thing that everyone has also done? I constantly have a dream about a plane crash landing in my backyard and the government telling me it's your problem now. So I turn it into a multifunctional man cave with theater, reloading bench, gaming area, bar, the works. Then my neighbor sues me for some reason and every time I go to try to fight it I wake up. It sucks cause I never get closure. Did I get to keep the man cave? Yep, I win a dance competition and kiss the girl I was dancing with. Funny fact, I don't want to go back and sleep. BC, I like dance stuff, but BC, the girl was ducking hot. My brother has turned out to be a mafia boss. Q 3 days off running from his goonies. The climactic battle taking place in a Target parking lot. Then I woke up right before the reveal of who won. Duck you, brain. I'm a lucid dreamer, so this happens to me almost daily. My most common recurring dream is a nightmare. There's always something that's trying to get me and I have to sneak around and hide to avoid getting murdered or assaulted. Sometimes I run into people that want to turn me over to the bad guys. Sometimes I meet people who want to help. I have become familiar with these people and if I ever come across them again I know I can trust them. I also remember certain places. I have learned how to navigate through them and I can locate all the secret doors and pathways in those specific settings. I know my way around houses and neighborhoods and I know where my hideout locations are. Since I am lucid throughout, if things get bad I can will things into existence. If I concentrate just right, I can fly or teleport, and I can feel every part of it. It feels incredible. If I wake up in the middle of one of those dreams I usually try to go back to sleep to finish it because I love how it feels even if it's scary. The only times I don't want to go back are when I've woken myself up because I was about to get killed or assaulted. Sometimes on my days off I'll take multiple naps a day just so I can dream in that world more. I went roller skating on an office chair. It was dope. I had a dream that was entirely in stained glass. Like the whole thing was like a kaleidoscope of colors and there were dragons and battles and a magnificent ball with a queen in red, which is where I woke up. I have never had a dream like this before or since. There was also another dream where it seemed to be some sort of mid-apocalypse situation with monsters. I was being taken care of by some military type folks after they found me just wandering the snowy woods. But the most fascinating part was the faceless samurai in red. He wasn't on my group's side but he wasn't a direct threat either. I was certain I knew him because I wasn't worried about him. I really want to know how it ends but I've never heard this one again either. I had such a dream last night. I dreamt I turned into a dragon and used my newly acquired draconity to fly all around the globe to explore in a Tolkienian adventure epic. Got to be a mighty beast would be amazing. Yes, I'm aware how science would wanna take me apart. But can a dragon dream? Aliens, like xenomorphs, were attacking a space station, and myself and several other scientists were holding them off. It was freaking awesome. We were hiding in air ducts, coming up with plans to decompress the station to blow the Xenos into space. Then I woke up and was so pissed that I didn't get to see how the story ended. It was a million times better than the recent movies. I can tell you that much. I have gotten girls into bed, or just ready for sexual encounters anywhere, a few times, and as soon as it forms as a real thing that is going to happen, I wake up. Every single time. As a lucid dreamer, literally every night, mornings are tough. This one time I woke up just before taking a first bite out of the most delicious burger I have ever seen. I was literally sitting down with my mouth open and my hands in the air as if holding said burger when I woke up. I just closed my eyes and tried to bite anyway because it just looked so freaking good. Happened to me this morning. I was planning some kind of assassination heist. Had this really cool utility belt, and the crew I was with, 2 guys and a woman with an MDMA hangover, were helping me organize my knives, multi-tool, wire rope, and other assorted knickknacks of the trade. We were just heading out the door into a beautiful sunny day when I woke up. I have no idea who the target was. I really tried to get back to it, but it was gone. Standing atop a huge pyramid wearing sun god-like robes with 1,000 naked women throwing little pickles at me. A little off topic, but my friend had a dream where he was with 2 other people and they realized that one of them was dreaming but didn't know who it was. Before the dream ended, they all promised to remember each other. He doesn't remember them as far as I know. I was dreaming about a witch girl, IDK like 12 to 14 years old. Anyway, she had to move away with her mum because she didn't have a dad anymore. The memory is slipping as I write this, but the month I was carrying around this weird monkey toy with like ling arms. I can't grasp onto the memory, but the mother said that the dad had been killed or died, IDK. And because the mother is a witch, she was able to like bind the soul to the monkey and the girl starts carrying it around. I just want to know what happened and what will happen. Not really interesting, just a much better reality. My mum passed away from cancer at 62 4 years ago tomorrow. Every so often I dream that she fully recovered and is perfectly healthy. Every time I question her in my dreams, saying something like, "Are you sure you're not dead?" and she assures me she got better. I believe her, and for an instant when I wake up I feel like she's still there. Then it hits me that she's really gone. I had one dream where everyone I have loved had been murdered and buried in my old childhood bedroom. When I woke up, I was so traumatized that I tried going back to sleep just so I can kill myself in my sleep. Have you ever? This is me every damn morning.